Hi, welcome to week 5. We're on the Noel panel. Exciting. So this week we're not learning anything new. However, we'll be doing the DC double crochet spike stitch again, but also because there's more yarn balls to have, I will be showing you how to manage your yarn on this one a bit more. And then we will be joining all the squares together. Very exciting. Favourite bit, because you can see your blanket, your squares, everything come together. Very excited. And I'm just going to show you how I set up my yarn for this, for the Intarsia technique sections. So I sectioned mine out into 5. So just going to put the little balls of yarn on top just to show you where they went. So this section I used a ball of yarn. You can actually see the yarn tails, and as you can see through the white I carried the bottle green, and then there's nothing in between because when we joined this one here you didn't need to carry anything in between, so that's just bottle green. So that's one section with one ball of yarn. The second section is here, and then the third section is the O, and in between the O I actually carried the white over in between the sections, and the same with the E. On those bits the white is carried, but in these sections in between there's no white yarn showing through, it's just bottle green. And then with the last one again, here and here, the white is carried through and dropped, so the yarn is dropped in each of the sections. So I found it easier to do it like that. And then the same for the gilt. So I just had 3 little balls and I used one for each. When they're finished you can snip the yarn and then just use them again for the top, and then that's the panel completed. And I do this, I like the Intarsia crochet technique. 1 little ball, so there's nothing heavy, use little balls. But 2, I like to use the Intarsia crochet technique because there's more movement in the panel rather than carrying your yarn across. It would make it quite stiff. You can tell the difference where you've carried your yarn, it's a little bit stiffer. So that's why we've used that technique. So imagine you've got all your finished squares here. I've just got the top 2 corners, and you've sewn all your ends in as you've gone, and your top 4 are all joined here down the edges, and I'm now going to show you how to do the joining with the snowflake to the Noel. So get a darning needle, and I'm going to use bottle green. So I'm just going to cut some off, a length off, and thread, needle. So that's ready. So the next bit you want, so this top section here, so both right sides face each other, so you're actually sewing on the wrong side, so your stitches will be at the back of your blanket. So I'm going to flip that and start in the corner so you can see. So attach your yarn through the last stitch of your snowflake and through the stitch on your Noel panel. Then if you just pull it through and leave enough of a yarn tail for sewing in, and then I actually knot it twice to secure it in place. And then each stitch you'll be able to match them up. So you go through the first ones just to make sure that that join, these ends won't be in your way, because you should have sewn them all in apart from your tail. So just to make sure that that's secure, that's the first one done. So you find your second stitch and go into your second one of your snowflake, and you carry on with the whip stitch down all the way, lining up your stitches if you can. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Sometimes they get lost. It should all line up. You know, if you miss a stitch, it should all be okay. So we'll carry on. Then just keep tugging on it. Make sure it's nice and secure. Do that all the way across. I like to use a corresponding yarn as well when joining. So if you've got a fern green and a ladybird to join, use one of those yarn colours. I didn't use any white or gilt for the joining. I just used colours to match the squares. So with the Noël panel, you could join all the rest of the squares in the bottle green that you've used. So keep going. Just when you get to the bobble on the snowflake, just be careful to tuck it out of the way so you don't catch it by accident. And then you can always just have a look and check you've not caught it, which that's fine. If you just carry on down. To the end. And then I always secure mine the same way that I start. So I go through the same stitch twice and then knot it for extra security, and then sew the ends in. I don't just cut them, I sew them in just in case the knot ever came loose. So I would go in again, and how you would knot it is go in again, and then actually the loop, you'd go through it and do that. So that's that section joined. So you'd carry on, because you'd have your 4 panels joined, and you'd carry on to the end, and I'll just show you what that looks like from the front. And that's your snowflake joined to your Noël. So yeah, like I said, you'd carry on down, join in, just follow the pattern. So you should have your finished Noël panel, and also now joined all your squares together. So next week we'll be doing the border. Very excited for this. Keep following your pattern. Don't forget, no rush, you've got a week to do it. Look in the Facebook group if you need any help. I'll be there on the joining anything, and refer back to the videos if you need to, and I'll see you for the border next week.